Why do you think that Jeff has decided to, as Chantel put it, get with the times in terms of how the Canadians relate to the public here and the fans?
Um, well, I think that some of it might boil down to the backlash that the team experienced after drafting Logan Mailloux last summer. That was really, if the team, I believe, really took notice. The fans were very upset. There was such a profound and very divided, um, very divisive dialogue that resulted from that. From what I gather, if I was to use social media as a barometer, the majority of fans were upset with this because of the implications, the club's dereliction of duty in being um, responsible to its communities in terms of respecting women and the experiences of women who might have been victims of sexual violence and sexual assault, the implications of that, where it's like, well, the team doesn't care. That's what I was seeing on social media. There was such harsh backlash, and you still see it today. When Logan Mailloux's name comes up, now that he's back playing with the London Knights, that there's still people who are still upset with that. And so I think a lot of goodwill that the Canadians inherently owned as a steward of Quebec society um, was lost after that particular incident, and so they're trying to navigate their way back to do the right thing and to try to earn back the goodwill, earn back the trust of the fan base. That's only one element. The fact is that in this day and age, with social media being what it is, so that every organization, whether it's a business, a sports team, a charitable organization, you have to really be connected to your stakeholders. And, that's your fan base, your listeners, your viewers, your followers. And so, in order to do that, you have to start getting out of old ways of thinking. Like, just because it's always been done that way doesn't necessarily mean it's right or effective anymore. And I believe the Canadians have taken steps to try to, make sure that they are changing with the times. And it's been a wholesale change because, we could talk about Chantal Machabée and communications and the way the team interacts with its public, but hockey operations has just completely undergone a facelift that is really, it's been astounding since the end of November. And I really believe they're going in the right direction.
Yeah, I think that was going to be a follow-up question too. I'm glad you bring it up. Is I guess it feels like a rebuild, but we're not using the R word. I guess there's multiple feelings with fans right now going, is this what we're doing? Is it not what we're doing? Are we going for a fire sale? Are we trying to attract some star players to come to Montreal and keep a few veterans? There seems to be a lot of directions here, but from what the new regime is doing, um, I guess it's a long time coming because we've never had a complete reset like this before. We would always recycle coaches, recycle players. It was always the same mentality. So I guess it's refreshing to say Martin St. Louis' point of view and his transparency in his post game interviews, even pre games interview. It's so refreshing to hear as a fan. So I can just imagine you guys as media, the breath of fresh air that it is, as you said.
Yeah, well, we'll start with Marty St. Louis, and to me, it's like he strikes me so much as being like Ted Lasso. The way that his energy level, his enthusiasm, he really Marty has a great understanding of psychology um, through being a parent, but also being a highly successful player his whole career, or for the better part of his career, that put him in the Hall of Fame. The fact that, like he said, he's been building toward this position for the last 10 years, and so um, uh, coaching at a minor hockey level. Uh, what we hear from him is a lot of principles that he's talking about are basically what you would hear from good managers, individuals who enable their people. That they don't that they're not micromanagers, that they're not power hungry or control freaks. That the most successful managers are the ones that allow their people to that put their people in positions to succeed, allow their natural abilities and talents and instincts to flourish, right? And so there's a lot of psychology and sociology that goes on in being a successful manager slash coach. And I see all of those examples coming out from Marty, whether he's imparting those to the media directly or if it's his players talking about it. It's really fascinating to see because, tactically, we're not talking much in the way of X's and O's with him, because right from day one when he was hired, saying that he believes more in concepts, concepts within a structure as opposed to systems, like stuffing people inside a very rigid box and saying you have to play this way, regardless of what their talent level may be. And so it's early goings, but we're seeing a very quick turnaround in terms of their the results are coming already. Although every game that the Canadiens have played, they've been in it. There haven't been any blowouts. There haven't been any. There have been a couple of scores where the final score was not indicative of how they played that game. Because if you look at the underlying numbers, the metrics, the Canadiens have been competitive in every game that they've played under Marty St. Louis. And so credit to him, absolutely, and credit to the players that they've bought into it so profoundly and so rapidly. Because the proof is in the results. And I know some fans will be upset because they're going to hurt their potential draft position, but the fact of the matter is these guys are professionals. They're the ultimate competitors. They're wired to win. And so what, they don't care about the draft position. They don't care. Suggesting tanking to them is obscene. And so you just have to take it for what it is. And how the Canadiens finish the season is going to really set the course for what they want to do, even in the next 3 weeks leading up to the trade deadline, then in the off season, potential player movement on draft week rather, and then free agency right after that, a couple of weeks, or I forget the date of 1 week. Yeah, the dates are all messed up again this year. I think July 7th for the draft, and then the 13th for free agency. So, we'll have a very interesting 5 months upcoming. But for the here and now, though, it's just so much more enjoyable to watch this team playing the way it is.